I'm Roderick Williams. I'm a baritone. I'm looking forward to performing with the Halle Orchestra. We're going to be performing George Butterworth's 6 songs from A Shropshire Lad. That's coming up in March of 2020. The 6 songs are, they say they're from A Shropshire Lad. They're kind of a set in themselves. I wouldn't even call them a song cycle as such, but just a set that George Butterworth made of settings of poems by A.E. Housman. There are other songs from A Shropshire Lad that don't tend to turn up in this work, but these 6 have become famous as an entity in themselves, and they are evocative in some sense of the turn of the century, the 19th into the 20th century, with the feeling that the First World War is not far away. And given that Butterworth himself was killed in the trenches in 1916, it's very poignant. But it's become poignant for us after the fact. When Butterworth was writing, of course, and when Housman was writing the poems were set with the context of wars far away, the Boer War, or things going on in Afghanistan and India. That's where the British Army was. So there's this idea of this Shropshire idyll, and also of English youth being sent far, far abroad to fight distant wars. So that's a sort of general feeling of the songs and of their poems. It's a sort of wistfulness for an idealised countryside. And when he'd written the poems, A.E. Housman had never actually visited Shropshire. So for him, it's again this imagination of the very best of English rural living. I've orchestrated this already in the past for strings alone, strings and harp, in fact, alone, and I've done this a few times. But this is a chance now for me to orchestrate slightly large on a larger canvas, and I performed them many times with solo piano, and often sounds come into my head as I'm doing so, just thinking, oh, wouldn't it be fun if that was on a clarinet or on a solo violin or whatever. So it really just gives me a chance to give free rein to those imaginations. Now, of course, I love performing them with solo piano as well, so all the pianists I work with hope won't be too upset with the idea. They hope they won't think that I've always been imagining this orchestral sound. But at the moment, it is very much an idea in my head of things that I'd like to explore and capture with it. And I don't yet know in what direction that orchestration is going to go. So the string version that I've done already is very respectful to Butterworth's score, and I haven't added anything myself as a composer. In this version, I don't know whether it'll be the same. I might choose to be a little bit more inventive in the way that Schoenberg, when he was orchestrating Brahms' piano quintet, I think it is, he's got xylophones in there and all sorts of different things. So, or whether to be respectful. I'm sure I will be respectful in any case, and just keep things as simple as possible. So I've yet to see where it goes exactly. What can an audience expect from this? Well, I hope the songs that, if they know the songs at all from the voice and piano original, I hope that they can expect the music they love and the words they love still to be there. So I hope not to get in the way. I hope that they'll have a chance to hear something that's richly orchestral. The thing about the Butterworth is the music is a masterpiece in simplicity. There are very few grandiose statements. And I think that's partly because the original poems are quite simple in their structure, yet there's a great deal that's not said. There's a great deal in between the lines. And I think of all the composers who've set Housman, I think Butterworth is the most successful at leaving the ambiguity there, allowing the poems to have space so that you can read whatever you want to into it, and yet there are moments of question marks in there that and I hope to be able to leave that. So it's going to be a challenge for me in orchestrating them to make my own statement as much as I want to, and yet also leave things open-ended. That's what I hope to do. It's so quintessentially English, and even as I say that, I'm wondering how to define what makes something quintessentially English. But Butterworth himself produced a beautiful rhapsody on the Shropshire Lad, so there already exists for me his game plan and he uses one or two themes from the songs, and literally just one or two. And then has this wonderful rhapsody that goes off into all sorts of different places, well beyond the scope of the Houseman poems. So that rhapsody begins to lean towards something that's French impressionist possibly, and in that sort of world, and yet it's still something that I think people would immediately recognise on a single hearing as being British music. All those qualities, whatever they are, it's very, very difficult to list exactly what makes something British. But whatever it is, Butterworth is absolutely the quintessential English composer. I'll try and sing you the opening of the first song, "Loveliest of Trees," and I'll do this and I'll dedicate this to a friend of mine, another baritone called Mark Stone. Now, Mark had come up to me and said that unbeknown to each other, both of my parents had come up to him in a concert, but he was starting the whole recital with "Loveliest of Trees." It starts on a top E, and it's quite delicate. And both of them had come up to him and said, "Oh, Mark, my son Roddy says that starting this piece is quite difficult. Good luck." He thought it was some sort of operation on their part to unsettle him before. But so for Mark, I will try and sing the opening of "Loveliest of Trees." Now, I'm not going to sing it necessarily in the right key here because I'm just doing it a cappella, but I'll do my best in it. It's a really gentle start. The piano comes in with this little thread from on the top E, and it's very delicate. And then there's this beautiful chord, and then I sing across the top, and it goes, "Loveliest of trees, the cherry now is hung with bloom along the bough." Well, I was just thinking it's difficult to know even where to breathe in that one sentence. So again, even as I sing it, I'm thinking, oh, shall I breathe here? No, I haven't done that in one breath before. Maybe I'll do it in one breath today. So just reinventing it each time I sing it.